Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. In today's episode, we are going to start that facade and get some of this nuclear protection going so that we can move on to some of these larger parts here to complete phase 4. So we're going to be going for control rods. Last time we were on here in the episode, we completed some of the tier 1, tier 2 stage area over here, and we redid this with the new blueprint. Got that going. If you didn't see that, that's in episode 10. You can go back and check that out. But we also got to get this T intersection going for this train so I can bring in supplies over here. So what I think I'm going to do is just lay down the whole factory today and see what I can get stylized and just kind of go pretty crazy. This whole area right here is going to be a massive factory and whatever else we need. As always, we're going to continue to use drones to transport main materials to and from the main hub here. But yeah, let's get started. Alright, we have successfully created our little T here. So, well, we've done much more than just created this T while I was live streaming. We also managed to lay down the new factory. At least most of the facade for now. I'm pretty damn happy with the aesthetics of where this is going. However, there has been a lot of progress behind the scenes here. So while we were streaming and taking care of all this, I actually got this done in one stream between the T section here right after the first part, and then we did this whole area here, and I kind of forgot to update YouTube, so I'm kind of doing this quite a few days later after the fact here. But let's take a look at what we've got going on and what I'm thinking. So this is kind of the facade. I just kind of wanted to do something that looked like it was coming out of the desert and kind of just give that industrial, like, rough vibe. The inspiration for these pillars came from a YouTube tutorial that was there, and I kind of always wanted to do something that was round, so that's where those came from. We've got 5 of those pillars. We've got our train stations here that will be underneath. At the moment, I could potentially go further left if we needed more train stations. That should be good. And then we've got this massive factory floor here, and as you can see, sky's really the limit. We can continue to expand. I mean, hell, we can actually make the aluminum facility part of this facility and make it one large building at some point. At the moment, though, one of the biggest things I'm not too sure of is what the hell will I be putting over here? Random assembler sitting here because I was looking at parts. So let's see, what did I have sitting here? I didn't have anything. One of the things that I didn't show that's off screen here that I think I have on my browser, let me see if I can drag this over. I'm gonna have to actually share my screen, so let me see here. Video game capture, screen share, there we go, cool. So I've got over on Satisfactory calculator, I was working with what I wanted for what parts we need to actually utilize. So if we look at circuit boards, high-speed connectors, computers, supercomputers, and radio control units, those are all the next large parts that I'm really going to need. And the tree list is, well, let's actually screw the tree list. Let's look at the items. Most of the recipes that I'm using are all alternative for QuickWire, so they want 2,000 units of QuickWire a minute. Now, in reality, that's actually not too crazy. What the calculator doesn't account for is overclocking. So when you can overclock your miners, you can actually pretty much pump out about what I think a Mach 3 miner is like. Man. It's around 4 something, and then you put like one shard in there and it goes like right at 720 or something like that if it's a pure node, I believe, or maybe that's a normal node. I forget exactly, and I digress there, but my point is that you don't need that many miners. So again, we want to use drones here, so I'm thinking about, you know, shipping most of that in. Now, truth be told, I've already done something crazy, but I'm not going to show you that here because that's going to be a little later. Yeah, but right there, in the yonder there, I don't have the cool zoom mod, but you can see the 1 Caterium node there. So what I was doing though is you can see here I've got a floating blueprint machine. So let's head back over to the main base real quick and let me explain what this is about. Alright, so now that we're back over here at the base, we've got our little floating platform here that I created because earlier in the game, I had created these. I found a blueprint online. I don't remember who it is. It wasn't Kibitz, but I found this on I believe Satisfactory Calculator, and the blueprint that this gentleman had kind of designed, I really did like it, but there were some things that I didn't like about it. So I recreated the blueprint with my own touches. So I wanted to go ahead and do that, and this blueprint mirrors everything that I've been actively using for the assemblers here. And as you can see, we've already went crazy with the blueprint. So my plan here for this row is all the parts that we were just looking at. So we're basically gonna get our circuit boards, computers, supercomputers, radio control units, and high-speed connectors all in these rows. Now, you might be asking, well, how the hell are you going to do that? That's because I have all the alternate recipes that allow me to use assemblers only. I don't need any manufacturers. In fact, actually, I take that back. I think high-speed connectors is the only thing that I need for the high-speed connectors. For the crystal oscillator, which is gonna be for the high-speed connector, right? Let's verify that so I'm not telling you guys a bunch of hocus pocus. Let's see. Yeah, because you can't do, yeah, so high-speed connectors are going to be in there. But we have the crystal computer, which requires the oscillator, so that's why you saw those manufacturers there. We've got our circuit board, which I'll probably go with the silicon circuit board because you actually get 12.5 per minute, and you don't have to use as much freaking Caterium this way, or QuickWire. So that's a lot better in my opinion. Now, we already did do the cooling systems downstairs, back on like episode 7 or 8, I believe. So we've got cooling systems. We don't have radio controlled units, and that is going to require manufacturer as well. So technically the high-speed connector and the radio control units will require the manufacturers, so we will set those up. But we had to get crystal oscillators going first. So, but basically we'll have 2 more rows of manufacturers right here, and that will be producing the other parts. Now, I decided to do that over here, do all this over here, instead of trying to produce all these parts. Originally, if you look at the calculator, where's my browser? If we look at the calculator, I had set the calculator for 10 parts per minute. So when you look at that, it takes into mind that, you've got to have basically crazy numbers. Look at these refineries just for plastic, to come up. But to be able to produce all these parts efficiently at 10 per minute, I'm not necessarily sure long term if we actually even need that many. So my thought was, hey, let's just go ahead. We have the room in the main base. Let's produce everything here as I originally thought, down to the storage room, and then whatever these numbers end up becoming, or what they are based on these 6 outputs here. And I've already kind of started working on this row right here. This is going to be AI limiters, and you can see I got the QuickWire going already, and this is what brought us to the QuickWire project, but more on that in a bit. So yeah, that's where we are. Lots of work, a lot has been done, and we are going to skip over to QuickWire because we need lots of QuickWire regardless. So I'm going to put this area on hold real quick, and we're going to jump over here. Oh, shoot. Alright, so we've got our quick Caterium node, our QuickWire Caterium node. I don't know what the hell I was trying to say right there. We've got our freaking one miner here on a Caterium node for our QuickWire, and I had only had one constructor just for the time being pumping out, and we were just kind of taking parts as we needed them. But now my plan is let's convert this into an actual facility. So yeah. And welcome back. So here we are. This is our new Caterium facility, QuickWire Caterium facility, and yeah, we've got this thing bussing along on this new little bus line here, courtesy of more Kibitz blueprints using that cool little bus there. But let's take a look at what we actually got going on down here. It is for the most part pretty much done. I left the roof blank at the moment because I'm going to use drone ports, so this will not just be left like this. What this drone port is essentially going to be is this will be an input for more Caterium coming in, because we've got this guy right here already producing. So I've got him overclocked. I've got 800 parts per minute. Obviously the Caterium or max belt is 720 or 780. I keep saying like higher than that. It's 780 at Mach 5. So yeah, so this is what we've got going on here. Now Kibbs has this really awesome iron smelting blueprint right here. that basically is 16 smelters that are all fully overclocked. However, if you switch that over to Caterium ingots, it's like 112 per one freaking smelter, so there's just no way to properly feed that if you had left all the power shards in here, because it wants 112 per minute. It's just not realistic, so there's no way. So took all the power shards out, so it's 45 per minute. 45 per minute times 8 per row, so that's 360. So you need 360 input coming in right here. And what I did is on this blueprint design, he has a merger here, and then it kind of splits between these two lines. But if you take a storage container and use the bottom output, you'll get a 780 line and another 780, which is more than enough to feed this guy. However, you can tell that it's burning through it pretty quickly with what we're producing. And this is 48 constructors right here. So at 48 constructors, I want to say it was something like 2,700 QuickWire that we're making right now. What is it? It's 60 per minute. So 48 times 60. Yeah, 2,800. So just shy, literally just shy by 20 of 2,900. So we've got 2,900 QuickWire. We are more than golden here. So what I'll do to keep this bin full and always keep these smelting, if all 48 of these guys were ever fully running, I would drone in other Caterium from other nodes, and then it'll just feed right into here. With the drones, what's cool is you can have one receiving port and multiple inputs coming to one. So that should take care of that. Now, if all 48 ever actually did need to run at one time, I think the max output of this guy for Caterium ingots at that point is, I think it's right around 500. We'll do the math on it real quick just so that you guys have an idea. So it's 15, it'd be, there's 16 total smelters here times 15, so, oh, it's 240. Is that right? Is that right? Is that right? Yeah, 15 per minute times 16. So yeah, you've got 16 here, so you're only pumping out 240 in all reality. But okay, I see what happened. I'm thinking higher because at that point, then if you've got the extra Caterium coming in, we can go ahead and overclock by one, which it's 22.5. 2.5 times 16, 360, and I believe you could actually push it a little bit higher to 2. We figured the math out on this last night, so it becomes 30. The problem becomes is your input, because that becomes 9, and you got to remember we split the input, so there's eight smelters per row, so one input per row basically. So you'd go 8 times 90, so 720. That's a perfect 720 line. So that would actually, that's what it was. So we could overclock these guys successfully with 2 shards, not 3 shards, using this container system here with the split inputs at 720 to feed both rows. Which at that point, what did we just say that was going to be? Where's the one with the shards? So that's 30 times 16. 30 times 6, so you got 480. So realistically though, this wouldn't be enough. You would actually need to build another setup to run all 48 of these, but being an overflow system and the nature of QuickWire in general with the large bundles of 500, I don't foresee that being an issue, but it's always an option and very easy to expand. I believe I purposely left just enough squares here because this is a 4 square. So yeah, I would just have to change the way that the inputs are a little bit right here, which is no big deal if I had to do that. So I'd be able to run a whole nother smelter unit right next to it, bring in some more drones, drop off some more Caterium, and we should be off to the races. Now, I ran out of parts, but there's going to be another drone port right here, which will bring in the batteries, which will feed this guy here. So we'll have batteries coming in. So at every facility that ends up using drones, a battery drone will be delivering batteries to keep these guys functional throughout the world, depending on where they're going and all that good stuff. So this guy would be a recharge area for the long distance drones, so that I don't have to worry about that. And then, like I said, on the roof, I'll utilize the roof as outflow for the Caterium. So the way that I set up these containers is each floor, I haven't turned these guys on yet, so they're actually not even active. But each floor basically has its own container bin, and then over here, I actually merged the back of these all together here so that it could keep this guy flowing, since this guy is dumping to the main base for production right now on the AI limiters that we talked about earlier, because I did go ahead and do those as well. So yeah, we've been pretty damn busy, but I believe for this episode, this is where I'm going to leave off with you guys today. And in the next episode, we'll probably just continue up on the main factory floor, getting the rest of those computer parts going now that we've got the QuickWire at least handled. There's no reason to go out and do any like extra nodes or anything of that nature. I think this system's running enough off the one, and we are producing more than enough QuickWire, and we are more than enough future-proof right now where we can send stuff out. So we've got a lot done in this episode, actually. I believe I will go live later this evening or tomorrow, which at the time of this recording is 7/11. So yeah, if you guys want to check me out on Twitch, that's twitch.tv/MrToX M8. Of course, I'll leave that on the screen right now. And as always, really appreciate you guys hitting that like button, subscribe, turn on the post notification bells, and leave any comments, questions below if you guys are interested in anything. Again, have a good one.